Good evening. This is episode number 12 of the Swoosh Shoes podcast. Good evening. Good evening. Hope you had enjoyed your Christmas. Name's Eric. We got Amari and Ernest on the live stream. So we're gonna recap what happened on Christmas. And also we're going to recap what's going on with the 16-18 start with the Los Angeles Lakers now playing at their newly renamed Crypto.com arena.
Oh boy. Yeah, man. Christmas was full of festivities. A lot of stressful games, a lot of good games. And obviously the Lakers 16-8 start and 2 games with the 500. Who would have known with this roster, right? So a lot of things to get into. Um, Before we start, there's been a lot of Russell Westbrook like trashing today, specifically from Mr. Carl Anthony Towns. If you didn't
he gotta
hear,
go. He
Yeah.
gotta go.
well, wait, hold on,
Chasing
Amani. If you didn't hear, Kat had said
I
that
seen it. I seen it. I seen
Ross,
it.
Russ is chasing stats, but did you hear the clapback from Joel Embiid and Draymond Green defending
Okay,
Russell
Yeah,
so
Westbrook?
yeah.
I didn't hear the clap back from Joel, but I did see it by Draymond though. What
So
did Joel say?
Joel said, "Imagine," and I'm going to quote this, so excuse the language if there is any. I'm saying exactly what he posted. Imagine talking after 20 point loss. You hate to see it, laughing my ass off. Go ahead using the pick of me about losing in the second round of the playoffs. Oh wait, you never been there. You don't know what that is like. No cap, boy. Finally won 3 games and he's talking. I don't know.
Wow.
I know you ain't talking. You've been a female
You
private
know what?
part your whole life. That's why you were treated like a female dog by you know who. I ain't gonna put your business out there. I got facts about you. Don't get it twisted.
Whoa.
Own you. I don't know what is going on.
Wow.
Wait. What Joel said? He said it's today.
Yep, he said it today.
Yes,
He
I
said
just
it
sent it to you
today.
guys on Twitter.
He said it today.
This is wild. This is wild. I don't know. He's bashing Cat. I'm confused where Drake where Joel's like uh where his problem lies here, but whatever. Needless to say,
Well,
a
remember,
lot of
Joel.
NBA players are not taking too kindly what Cat was doing. Cat did say though, he did say Russ plays hard, and he said it's hard as hell to get a triple double, and he's a great talent. But
Right.
it's the shade that kind of because prior to him saying that about Russ, like the conversation was about stats, and he was just like, "Well, I don't even care about stats if you lose."
Right.
And the host, I forgot the host's name, and he asked about Russ, and then
Russ. Yeah.
Cat was
Mhm.
like, yeah, he stat chases. You know what I'm saying? So it's the NBA is a brotherhood, and to kind
Mhm.
of dump on another stars dumping on stars, you kind of don't see that, especially nowadays in
Yeah,
the
that's
Yeah.
league.
that's like
Everybody's too friendly.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
so
out of code.
Yeah.
Cat has now.
I like that energy though.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but listen, this bodes well for a potential trade scenario we're going to get into later on today with Philadelphia 76ers. But let's get into the show. We'll get into this Russell Westbrook stuff later as we get to the Laker topic. But for now, we're going to talk about the Christmas games. And, since the only person in this room who has won on Christmas Day, Eric, you take the floor. You guys have the first game of the day. Have at it.
All right, so the Knicks Hawks played the early version of Christmas. It was the first game of a 5-game slate, and the Knicks came out on fire. Started out 19-3. Hawks had no Trae Young due to health and safety protocol. Too bad because Knicks came out smoking hot. Hawks were in the game. John Collins came out. He was doing his thing, but it was too much. Julius Randle, Kemba Walker dropped a triple double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 12
You almost
assists.
messed that up for him too. Plenty
Yeah,
of
but like
times.
it was a point in the game in the fourth quarter where like Taj Gibson and Alec Burks were boxing him out for a rebound. Like let him get his rebound, let him get that triple double. Um, Quentin Grimes came back from health and safety protocol. Obi
He's a
Toppin
baller.
also. Listen, I was telling you last episode about
He's a
Quentin
baller.
Grimes. He's gonna want to get in more minutes because just his defense alone. Tips needs that.
Yep.
And Kemba Walker back in the starting lineup. I expect nothing. I expect him to be staying there for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Also, he's also got Player of the Week. It was announced earlier today. Him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Thunder. Dude averaged 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists during the week. And to finish it off, Obi Toppin on a breakaway in between the leg dunk to mostly put the exclamation point. They did it. The Knicks debuted the City Edition Kith edition courts.
But before you continue, I wanted to ask about that. I think I might have asked you guys in the chat about it, but Eric, you can speak on this. What's your thoughts on the unis in the court, man?
I like them a lot. They're fire.
The court is beautiful. I love the court, man.
I love the court.
Really?
Because the court matches the City Edition jerseys, all black.
Right.
It was a different tone, but it's basically the same color set.
Yeah.
You know what I would have liked though, honestly, if Kith had, if y'all would have done like the 1999 or 1998 court. That would have been fire to me. And bring back the old Knick jersey with the black stripe
with the black.
Side.
Yep.
That would have been fire.
Like Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston days.
Hell yeah.
A lot of Knicks fans, we were calling for to having to bring back those as like one of those secondary jerseys.
Yeah, they should.
Y'all should.
Yeah, seriously, we should.
Yes, you should.
This week they had a 2-1 week. They beat the Pistons back last Tuesday.
That won twice? I don't know what that feels like either. It's crazy.
I was at the game Thursday against the Wizards when Kemba dropped 44, but they lost
Kyle Kuzma and company.
And KCP and them. Still disappointed in that loss.
Those guys sound familiar.
Yeah, and then they came back and beat the Hawks Christmas Day, so they completed a 2-1 stretch. I was hoping for 3-0, but 2-1, I'll take that. They got a 3-game road trip coming up this week. No, actually a 4-game road trip coming up this week. At Minnesota tomorrow, at Detroit Wednesday, Friday, New Year's Eve at Toronto. No. Friday, New Year's Eve at OKC, and then Sunday afternoon at Toronto. So hopefully, looking for them to go at least 3-1 the minimum, so at least they can start climbing back into the standings. Because if you look at the Eastern Conference standings from 6 to 12, only separated by only 2 games.
Yeah. So it's looking like the Western Conference of the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's the East. I think we can say the East is the better conference right now than the West.
Of course,
because the West only has 4 to 5 teams that are above 500.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the West has 9 to 10 teams over 500. I mean, the East has 9 to 10 teams over 500. So clearly, the East is the better conference right now for sure.
Yeah, because from 6 to 12 is like you got 16 losses, 17 losses, and 18 losses. So if you go on a 5-game win streak, you go from 12 to like 6. You go from 5-game losing streak, you go from 6 to 11 and 12. So these next couple Knicks have a soft schedule coming up. The next 18, they're in an 18-game stretch where they got a whole bunch of winnable games. So hopefully, with this new with how they're playing right now and the surges they got right now, hopefully they can start winning games on a consistent basis and getting back to at least a little semblance of what they were last year, and start moving up in the standings little by little.
All right. Moving on, the next game of Christmas Day, we had the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. This was Giannis' first game back after coming off of protocols. Yep. Wasn't sure if he was going to play. Out the gate, the Boston Celtics looked like they was on fire, like they was going to take the W, but towards the end, just they collapsed. The whole stagnant offense and everything, just ISO basketball is just not going to work. Some of the Bucks key role players stepped up, a la Wesley Matthews. Oh gosh, yeah, bro.
Could I just say this?
Go ahead.
A lot of people have been like disrespecting the Bucks, like they haven't won a championship last year. I think it's time to put that to bed. I think they're the best team in the East.
And did you know
who was doing that though?
Without the, I mean, because a lot of
I know
people listen. ESPN already donned the Warriors the champs, like, which is crazy to me. Like, here's the thing with Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee had a winning record when Giannis was out,
right?
Mm-hmm. Like Chris Middleton, and he was also out in some stretches during that time because he had an ankle injury, I believe, or a quad injury. But for the most part, you had Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday holding down the fort, and they were winning games.
Right,
they were winning games. Like that to me tells something, because now if I look at the landscape, yes, Golden State is great. Yes, Phoenix is great. But I just feel like Milwaukee is going through the same thing they went through last year, where everyone's like kind of writing them off because they believe, all these big names are on these other teams, and they're sleeping on Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's coming out the East again. I think unless there's we're ways away from that happening, right? And a lot can happen between now and then. Trades and all that, and who knows what may happen with trades with Brooklyn, what may happen with trades with Philly. Things can happen later down the line, right? And we don't know. But as of right now, as everything stays where it's at, Milwaukee's the favorite.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Giannis definitely showed up, like Ernest was saying, definitely had a monster game towards the end of the night, and that was just it. The Boston Celtics could not just recover from that as well.
And he started the game struggling. He was like 1 for 6 from the field. He started the game struggling, and then I don't know, whatever switch was just like, yep, it's time to turn it up.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And I think that's how they're gonna play through the rest of the season. Like they start off slow, 6-8, and then they had players out with COVID, and most of the role players were out.
Yeah, they're getting Dante. They get Dante back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like the combination with him, DiVincenzo, and that's the same guy. Dante DiVincenzo with Pat Connaughton and Grayson Allen. Like, those are hustle guys.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna cause people, and they can shoot the hell out the ball. Like, they're gonna cause so much problems. Think about this. Milwaukee can literally run a semi-small lineup, which you cannot guard. Would be Giannis at the 5, or Bobby Portis at the 5, Giannis at the 4. Your 3 could be Middleton. Your 2 could be Grayson Allen or DiVincenzo or Connaughton, and you also have Drew Holiday. So you got 2 other guards at your disposal that come off the bench and give you quality minutes.
Yep. And you got Bobby Portis coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mentioned him in the starting 5, but you're gonna have Boogie. And Boogie's been playing well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and then also, let's not forget, what's the player's name from Nigeria? Nawara?
Yeah.
He could shoot.
And he can play. And he can play. And then you also got George Hill, who's a backup point guard. Like, low key, the team is loaded, and people are just overlooking the fact that, like, Giannis right now is the best player in the world, in my opinion. I know Kevin Durant's been all worldly because of the circumstances in Brooklyn and how he's been playing. And you could throw Steph in there, and hell, you can even throw LeBron in there. What he's been doing in the last 9 games, averaging over 30, averaging 30 points, or 9 assists and 9 rebounds, 7 assists. But at the same time, man, Giannis impacts the game in ways that those guys don't.
Yep.
Like, Giannis is so polarizing and dominant. It's there's no answer for him. Like, you can have an answer for Steph, right? Like, you can. They'll be nice, and he'll just go atomic. But, like, then you can kind of contain Steph in a way. KD, you can't really guard that man, but you can bother him. LeBron, obviously, age is what's going to bother him. But, like,
age injuries.
But when you look at Giannis, yes, he's not as good as a shooter as KD and Steph is, but he's a marginable shooter.
Yeah.
Right, and he gets to the basket at will. There's no one that can stop him going to the basket.
Yep.
No one. Nope.
Even you try to build a wall, he got shooters out there.
Yep.
Like Milwaukee, you got to give credit to Milwaukee's front office. Like, they did an awesome job. Like, this is how you build around your superstar. That's how you build properly around your superstar. because now they're going to be in contention for, I would say, the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Or
The
at
next
least
5
his
years,
contract
it's
is off.
Yeah.
Because Giannis is still young too. He's in his prime right now. So
And I honestly think Giannis wins one more in Milwaukee before he leaves, because I think he's leaving Milwaukee. I don't think he's staying there. I do think he'll leave. I just don't know where. I'm hoping it's LA, but I doubt it. Hey, listen, Giannis and AD together. Listen,
that's an 80
right,
cent
right. But we
you
go
put them two and put the rest of us on the court. We'll be fine. We'll win a chip.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to say, if Giannis retires today, he's a surefire Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Like I have people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I'm not sure Giannis is a Hall of Famer. He retired." Are you kidding me?
I say this, and it's how I throw people off. I say, is AD a Hall of Famer? People say yes, and I'm saying Giannis is damn sure a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
AD's a Hall of Famer. You get what I'm saying? The year we won the chip in 2020, right? I remember having this huge argument at Nike about Giannis and AD, and at the time, AD was clearly the better player. But the fact that AD had LeBron, people made the consumption, the concise.
You try to Kevin Love him or Chris Bosh him.
Yeah, he has LeBron James. Like, imagine if Giannis had LeBron. Okay, great point. Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
But now, what stood out to me between Giannis and AD is AD got complacent where Giannis was like, I'm not done.
Yeah.
Giannis.
Yeah.
And that's what I love so much about Giannis and the Kobe comparison, because
he grabbed people's neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like the championship didn't even matter last year to him. It's like, we got a goal this year. That's to win again. Mm-hmm. I'm not even using the word again. I'm using it like we winning it for the first time. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's his mentality, approach to the season. And you got to give the man credit.
Yep.
Man, like you got to recognize real. Like, he is the real deal.
Yep, indeed.
And he's gonna be dominant for the next 5 years in the East alone. So who's gonna?
Yeah. So good luck to the Knicks, Nets, Sixers,
the Bulls,
the Bulls. Good luck to all of them.
Good question. So who wins? So what happens first? The Bucks win the second title, or the Nets break up?
Bucks. I can see the. You said what happens first?
Yeah, what happens
I
first?
The Nets break up.
The Nets. Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah.
Because honestly, if you really think about it,
I don't think James Harden is staying, man.
I don't think so either.
Oh no,
I think they got like one more year left, and that's it.
It's just the body language just like looks really nonchalant, just like I'm just here,
It makes no sense for James Harden to even resign right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Like, he's gonna get a lucrative deal no matter where it is.
Yeah, and we know where his head is at. He's
looking at Philly. Like,
I think so too.
Move.
I think he's looking at Philly as well. Man, listen, we'll get there. We'll get to Philly. We'll get there. Let's continue.
All right. Next game on the slate, we had probably you could say the best game of the day was the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. That was a real
playoff game.
That was a heavyweight clash, man, of two good teams. Everybody was healthy, just duking it out. So
that was their third meeting this year.
Yeah.
That was their third meeting, but here's the thing. And what stood out to me was that, yes, Phoenix had everybody. They did. No one was missing from the roster. No one was in health and safety protocols at the time. I mean, now they just announced that DeAndre Ayton,
COVID protocols.
DeAndre Ayton,
Jay Crowder,
Alpha Payton, and Jay Crowder.
It's crazy how they all go there after they play us, right?
And Monty Williams.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Right?
But they had all of them, and the Warriors were still missing significant players. They were missing Jordan Poole, Damian Lee, and that's not. They were missing Wiggins, who arguably is the second best player right now on that team.
And they're missing the number.
And obviously they're missing and they're obviously missing Clay, and they're missing Wiseman. And they was able to gut that one out like on the road, like that. That to me tells me right there, they're championship ready.
Shout out to their role players.
Otto Porter Jr., 14 of 4.
Yeah. The fact that he's on the minimum is a crime.
They called him Otto Porter.
They call him NBA heads really know if they hear it on the court. They call him Young Wilt. Because he looks like Will Chamberlain.
Wow.
I remember Lakers and Warriors game 1 of the season, and Otto Porter's at the foul line, and Melo's yelling, "Go ahead, Wilt! Go ahead, Wilt!" Because he's trying to distract him from shooting the free throw. So it was just hilarious. And then you heard the same thing at the Phoenix game. They kept calling him Wilt. So it was just funny because he looks like Wilt Chamberlain. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
yeah, man, like the fact that Otto Porter's on the minimum is a crime. I just because a part of me frustrates me because all these players,
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
But the Warriors really showed like that. That to me shows me like they're championship ready in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now, again, things can change.
So it's 2-1 in the matchup, right?
Yeah, 2-1 Warriors.
Yeah,
2-1 Warriors. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, and listen, with the second time, well, it was the first time the Warriors beat them, Devin Booker wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
So with or without, they're beating this team. Yeah. Now, the thing that I think will hurt the Warriors in the long run, and it all depends on Wiseman, but in the playoff series between them two, what's going to hurt them is length, and that's what Phoenix has.
Yeah.
So in a long playoff series, it's going to be difficult to really get off if Wiseman isn't a presence that can combat the length of Ayton or JaVale McGee or even Miles Bridges.
JaVale McGee, man, so crafty, dude.
I mean, Mikal Bridges, excuse me. So it's I'm interested to see what that looks like. Yes, Warriors look great, and because they beat them in such a fashion, but let's not get it twisted. In the playoffs, everything slows down. I think it'll be difficult if Wiseman isn't that guy. The Warriors got to figure that out now because they're gonna have to make a trade to kind of combat that because they'll lose.
Yeah, because Kevon Looney can only do so much.
Much, so little.
And then you got Belicia.
Yeah, Belicia, again, he's a shooter. He's not going to be in the paint.
He's not doing anything. Yeah.
Right. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. And, but their guards and their forwards, they have so much wings. They could just throw at you. And that's just, I'm just really interested to see the final lineup. Like I want to see a Wiseman at the 5, Draymond at the 4,
with Clay back.
Your 3 will probably be maybe
Wiggins.
Yes, Wiggins. Then you'll have Clay, and then you'll have Steph. And then the bench unit is going to be ridiculous. You're going to have Jordan Poole, Damian Lee, Otto Porter. Like that. When they're at full strength, it's going to be really scary to see. Yeah. So I'm interested to see that too. But they have to figure out too. Wiseman is going to have to be that guy because as soon as he gets folded in, it's championship time. Is he mentally ready for that?
Right.
Again, I'm sure with the leadership of that organization, they'll have him prepped. But it's one thing of saying these things and kind of practicing through that, than actually going through the game. And you got Chris Paul, calling you out on the pick and roll. You don't know what to do, right? So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Where we at? Oh goodness. This game.
Oh, sheesh.
So
listen, I'll say this: we won't get into the nuances yet. Let's get through the Christmas games first, because out of respect, there was one more game after this one.
And
then we'll go into the analysis of what the Lakers' trash bag has been.
All right, so you guys want to do Utah and Dallas?
Yeah, for sure.
We can do that. Okay, okay. So next game, the later game, the last game of the slate, we had the Utah Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks. Me personally, even though I'm a basketball fan, I just told myself I did not want to watch the Utah Jazz on Christmas Day. That's just me. That's just me, just personally. Like, why in the world is the Utah Jazz on Christmas? And also, one thing I've been seeing, especially like Twitter was going off, is like, why do you have the reigning MVP not on Christmas Day? Shout out to the Nuggets, but like, just why wasn't Jokic on Christmas Day? But for what I've seen, that game was without Luka once again. Kristaps Porzingis was holding down the fort, but it was just too much of the Utah Jazz, man. Just the role players that they had, the bodies they was throwing at them. It was just too much Utah Jazz until like the last stretch of the game. So.
Jordan Clarkson was typical 6-man on the
gosh.
Another one.
Yo,
One that
man.
I feel like the Jazz are not getting talked enough, especially in the West, for obvious reasons. Especially
Yeah.
after what happened last year with the way they lost in the playoffs. They got the second highest point differential in the NBA at 10.3. That's how good they've been all year long. So they're 23-9. They're only 3.5 behind the Warriors for first in the West. So they're gonna be one of those. They're gonna be those typical. They're gonna be that typical team that no one talks about, but they somehow end up in the top 3 in the West.
Toronto Raptors of
2019 when they won the chip.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I wasn't even talking about that team. I was talking about like Toronto Raptors with DeMar and Kyle Lowry. The ones that went up LeBron every single year,
and they lose in that. So I don't know if the jury's still out on Utah in the playoffs. Yes, regular season, they're a typical really good regular season team. They dominate at home. That's their calling card. They always dominate at home. Especially during the Carmelo years, Darren Williams years, especially since the 80s on, they've been dominating at home. So it was a close game. The Dallas Mavericks had chances to win the game late. Jalen Brunson, Porzingis.
He's been playing really, really good lately.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson's been
really good lately.
Really well as of lately. Even Frank Ntilikina surprisingly had a 13-point game, so I didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
So Dallas, they're 15-17. They're like literally in tie with the Lakers and the Timberwolves for 7th.
Ain't that crazy?
Ain't that something? And they're only like 2 games ahead of Portland for 11th. So, we talked about the Eastern Conference from 6-12, the Western Conference from 5-11, only separated by 3.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Sacramento Kings and the Oklahoma City Thunder are not out of it. So that's how wide open it is in the West. So, this next game, but the Lakers lost 5 straight, and they need to get their act together real soon, or else.
And this is why I have optimism that the Lakers will be okay, because if you look at the West is literally wide open. Aside from the top 2-3 teams, it's wide open. But continue.
So it was the Nets and Lakers, the primetime matchup on Christmas.
But it was the South Bay Lakers versus the Long Island Nets. The Long Island Nets. Wayne Ellington and Bruce Brown was the marquee guys of this primetime game.
Nick Claxton was the star of the game.
No, the game. I mean, he dunked on LeBron, but the star of the game was Patty Mills.
Patty Mills.
35 points, 32 points.
And then the Nets were playing 6-on-5 because Russell apparently was playing for the Nets.
Okay, so how many times? I don't know if it's me, but how many times he's gonna miss wide open bunny layups? Every time I watch the games, it's missing 4 or 5 wide open bunny layups.
And I would say this,
and also he airballs 3 threes per game. It's why is he keeps on shooting?
The thing is, from my perspective, it was one of those things where it's kind of like you foreshadow something. Something happens in the game, and you just sit there and think, well, at the end of the game, that's going to come back to bite us. So on that run, we was on a 17-0 run without Russ, right? And I was sitting and telling myself,
23.
At the end of the third quarter, we was all writing them off. Ernest was definitely writing them off. It was just I'm gonna just sit here and watch it. I ain't got nothing else better to do. We all just
because here's the thing, Armani, because we've been here before.
Yeah,
and historically, the Lakers do not win on Christmas Day.
We don't. Actually,
really don't.
Right after that game, I looked up our matchup. We played, I believe, a total of 45 games with 45. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's definitely in the 40s. But we're 24 and 23, something like that. So
we don't
win one,
on
we lose one.
Day.
Win one, we lose one.
We don't play one on Christmas Day, so whatever.
So
last year we beat the Mavs, and then this year,
we cooked the Mavs, and then the year before that, it was against the Clippers. That one was annoying.
Oh man, my blood boiling.
Yo, I
Of all people, Patrick Beverly had to make the play.
yeah, I went back to work the next day and didn't speak to a single soul. Everybody was like, Armani, you good? I was just so you would have thought like a family member passed away. I didn't want to sit with nobody, man. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Because
man.
out of the entire season, that's the game I wanted the most. Like, you know, we want to win on Christmas Day because everybody's watching. It's a nationally televised game. You just want to get that W, and especially against the team that everybody's pairing you up against, you want to win that game. But anyway, so like I was saying, we was on a 17-0 run without Rush, right? And there was a possession where LeBron, he like kind of like ran out of steam and missed the layup, rolled off the rim. Then there was another play, THT had a layup, rolled off the rim. So you kind of get where I'm getting at, right? Like just the missed layups, the botched layups was going to come back. Then we put Russ in the game. Russ misses a layup. On the following possession, there's a play. It wasn't really no action happening. It was just movement. Patty Mills ran to the corner. Russ falls asleep. Patty Mills, Patty Mills catches a three. You know, even though LeBron on the next possession comes back and hits a three, but it's like, bro, like I seen a post on Twitter, like these are things that's going to cost us a playoff series. You know, like just the little things, the attention to detail. You know, Patty Mills is hot. Patty Mills had 34 that game. Like he
started the game like 5 for 5 from 3. Like
yes, he was on fire. You know. And not to take Patty Mills like as no joke, like Patty Mills has been doing this in San Antonio, but he was more of a spot up guy. Yeah. The guy was playing like Steve Nash on Christmas, you know. And I was sitting there telling myself like, eventually they're gonna have to take because Harden was killing us in the beginning, Harden and Patty Mills. I'm like, you know what, we're gonna be all right. They're gonna have to sit Harden down regardless, you know. But this is what we get back into it. Like, who we gonna lose to? Bruce Brown? We're gonna lose to Bembry? We're going to lose to James Johnson? Are you serious? Like, but, you know, Patty Mills was curling off of screens, weaving through traffic, hitting threes, like Steve Nash. And it was just like, wow, like, we really suck. We're really bad, you know? But, yeah, just the ending of the game, you know, kind of gave us hope. But, you know, things didn't turn out how we wanted them to. But, Ernest, you go ahead, bro.
I mean, listen, we all knew with Russ what we were going to get. I'm here to give perspective.
Shout out to Stanley Johnson. Let me just throw that in.
Yeah, shout out to Stanley Johnson. Shout out to DC too. I think that first of all, DC had a positive net rating. I think of plus 6 or something like that. So that's a good sign. I think we should keep him. But I'm gonna give some perspective.
Isaiah Thomas go.
I mean,
Isaiah Thomas go.
Yeah, we had to though. It's not. I don't think it. It's just. It's the right place, but it's just the wrong time for him.
Right.
For the Lakers.
Yep.
At this particular time, like I think he would have. In another time, maybe the year we won the chip, he would have been great for us. I feel like
off the bench, hell yeah.
But I'm gonna put things in perspective. We we understand what Russ was going to bring to the table. We all knew this.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't agree with the trade, and I'm sure out of anyone else who signed it off, LeBron James knows, as the basketball savant that he is, he knows the game of Westbrook. I'm sure he studied it, right? So, in turn, do we be patient? We have to, but but the frustration I totally understand because this is a different level of expectation that we have. Right, this is not OKC. This is not Houston. This is not Washington. Like, you're in a Laker uniform. We have the greatest player of our generation on our team. We have a generational top 5 talent as well on our team. We just won a chip a year and a half ago. The expectation is championship, and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Westbrook is going to have to understand that all games matter. Like every single game matters. He had a quote
especially
today.
Now.
Yes, he had a quote today because they Lakers had practice, obviously, and it kind of bothered me. So, Russell Westbrook says, and I quote: "Honestly, I think I've been fine. I think people." He says, "I think people are expecting me to have effing 25, 15, and 15." That is not normal. That's not a normal thing that people do consistently.
What?
I know I've done it in the past 5 years, but that's not normal. This is what bothers me about the quote.
Wow.
What bothers me about the quote is that, to me, he's simply not getting it, because we're not asking him for huge stat games. We're asking him, do the little things that will impact winning. That means being careful, not being careless with the ball. That means making the right decisions with the ball. That means knowing time, possession, pace, right? IQ, awareness, defense, paying attention, making the right reads, and just doing simple rotations. That's all we're asking Russell Westbrook to do. Russell Westbrook, ugh, Russ has to understand that, yes, those were needed from you in OKC. Those were needed from you in Houston to a degree. Those were needed from you in Washington for sure. But dude, you're on a team with the greatest player of your generation on your squad, along with a top 5 talent on your squad who just won a championship with them too. You don't have to be that Russ. All you have to do is do the little things and accept that. Now, I'm not saying play a lesser role, but by virtue, just by nutrition, bro, you're gonna play a lesser role, because guess what? There are 2 other players that are better than you on the roster. So he has to be able to understand, okay, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to just run up and that's another thing too that really frustrates me about time and pace with him. And I get it. The best way for Russ to exceed is him to play fast, because that's what he's good at. But he's doing it at a pace where he's out of control, and he's missing these layups at the rim. Like, Braun gave him a sweet wide open layup
on a fast break
on the left lane, on the right lane, and he just simply missed it because he was just going too hard. It's just, bro, like, take your time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and Russ is great. You can't tell me a guy who averages a triple double does not know how to facilitate. He knows how to facilitate an offense. He just has to slow down.
Yeah.
Plus, the personnel on your team is not built for that. It's a bunch of old vets. You can't run up. The Lakers have the fastest pace in the league right now. The fastest pace in the league, and the oldest team in the league. That doesn't
make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
and I get it. The Lakers are great in transition. They're one of the best transition teams in the league. But that's when LeBron is on the floor. LeBron is a gazelle. That is a totally different human being we're talking about. But like, Russ needs to understand that, like, the game has to slow down for him just a little bit. Pick his spots. There was a stretch where he was averaging 24 and 24, 9 and 9, something like that, where we when we were 3 games over 500. Russ had played extremely well. You know why? Because Russ was able to pick his spots. He was able to slow down. Yes, to a degree, I think, because AD being out hurts that, right? And I think he feels like, oh, it's just me and Braun. I gotta take more on. But bro, you don't have to do that, because at the end of the day, we have legit scorers on the team that can create their own shots.
Exactly.
You don't have to be the guy that tries to do it all. Everyone else can do the same. Just do your part. Focus on the little things, right? Okay, rebounding, great, but defensively, have that intensity on the defensive end that you have on the offensive end.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if he does those things will do wonders for him, but not only just him, but for the team. The team will be a lot better. Now, a CBS reporter had just posted today, and this is another reason why all this has been going viral about him, was that the Lakers need to figure out what to do with Russ, and it's about time that they call Houston to explore a John Wall trade. To me, it doesn't make sense. Like, you complain about a player who has a negative net rating, who turns over the ball a lot, who's injury prone, who doesn't know pace and space, for another guy that does the same thing.
Yep.
Just John Wall's a better shooter than Russ.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, listen, do I think the Lakers will trade Russell Westbrook? Yes and no. Yes, if Ben Simmons is on the table, that trade is happening. I can guarantee you that. If the Sixers are saying, you know what, we'll take Russell Westbrook, that's why Joel Embiid backing up Russ was very interesting to me. But needless to say, that could just be smoke and mirrors, but we never know.
Yeah.
If Embiid tells Daryl Morey, I don't want Westbrook, damn it, he's gonna wind up trying to
Put
get
Ben
Westbrook.
Simmons on the
Yep.
table.
Yep. So
Yep.
and Ben Simmons will be on the table. That'd be okay. And I know, I think it was the last show we did, or the show before that.
We spoke about it.
I said I would rather have Russ because at least Russ will shoot,
Yep.
versus Ben Simmons. But I think from a defensive standpoint and IQ standpoint, I mean Ben Simmons is the better fit.
Yeah.
But that's the yes. If a player like Ben Simmons or Damian Lillard's on the table, Lakers are making the trade.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, they're not going to trade Russell Westbrook. We're going to have to understand and hope that he realizes what the things that he needs to do to make the team better. I'm hoping LeBron and AD are sitting down there, and they're all three of them are going over film together, and calling each other out on the things that they're doing.
Yes, yeah.
Because you can't tell me that this is okay with LeBron James. I can't see him sitting here and looking at this stuff and saying, "Damn, like, all right, we good." No, you're not good.
Yeah.
You know, so at this point, I think the Lakers should focus on, unless there's a deal on the table like Ben Simmons or Damian Lillard for Russ that's out there, the Lakers should focus on the margins. Meaning, you waived DeAndre Jordan, get his ass out of there. All right. Avery Bradley's contract is not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You either have
He
to
hasn't
make a
really
choice.
been playing well this season either.
Right, but he does add defense.
Yeah.
You either got to make a choice. Do you keep him, guarantee his contract, or do you waive Rondo? I would say waive Rondo and give him a job on the bench, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Rondo, he's been placed on
COVID
Memphis
protocol.
TV.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. So, and you signed Darren Collinson, you signed Stanley Johnson, you trade around the margins. If you're going to go after Jeremy Grant, it's probably going to require THT for sure, but it probably require Kendrick Nunn to make the money work.
Yep.
Hence why you go and keep DC and you keep Avery Bradley, because you won't have Kendrick Nunn. Now it sucks because I would honestly think Kendrick Nunn is a big boost for us. I think he's a very important missing piece for the vision that the Lakers had. The shooting, the defense,
slashing,
he's a
ball
handling.
Yeah.
And it gives
underrated.
Russ and it gives Russ an opportunity to play the two guard.
Yep.
I'm still trying to figure out why the Heat let him go. Like they should.
I was surprised. I was like, we got who?
I'm still shocked. They let him go.
So I'm hoping that we don't trade Kendrick Nunn. I hope a trade that we do make to get some of these guys doesn't require Kendrick Nunn, but it might. But we'll see. But that's just my position.
Yeah.
Are the Lakers gonna be this bad from here on out? No. I still think the Lakers are making the playoffs. So all you sports media outlets out there saying I just don't see the Lakers making the playoffs. Stop it. The Lakers are making the playoffs. All right.
Do they win a playoff series? That's the question.
Right. That's the question. So my focus for this team is obviously getting healthy, right? We got to get healthy. And secondly, can we be dedicated to our roles? Everyone must know their place and where they stand with the team, what their role is, and what they're going to contribute, and commit to that. And be smarter on defense and not make stupid plays, mellow, getting a technical foul in crunch time where you didn't need it, like that. Like it's stuff like that we don't need. Yeah. Stanley Johnson, brings depth. He brings length. Darren Collison is a more even-keeled point guard. I think we need.
2 years too late.
Yeah, 2 years too late. Could have had a chip, brother.
Right.
But I think that's the direction the Lakers need to go. It's not firing Frank Vogel, clearly, because now you clearly see, even with Fizdale coaching this team, it's been horrid. Yeah. So it's,
I feel bad for y'all.
And it's crazy. I actually miss Frank.
You see what had to go through with him.
Frank is chilling at home like, y'all was saying it was me. It wasn't me.
Y'all see what had to go through with that.
When Fizdale put out the lineup, he put out this lineup, and I lost it. It was against I believe was it Minnesota we played before?
Because we got smoked by Minnesota.
No. That's when AD was out.
Phoenix.
It was Phoenix, and then we played someone else after Phoenix.
Was it Chicago?
No, San Antonio.
It was San Antonio. It was San Antonio. Yes.
God.
It was San Antonio. The 28. They put 38, 138 on our head, 133 on our head in the regulation. He put out a lineup which made me look like, bro. I was in the house and I lost it. I completely lost it. I was screaming at the TV. I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, hold up. Is that Rondo, Russell Westbrook, and Isaiah Thomas at the same time? Yo,
that's a crime.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, I don't care who was out. You don't put that lineup in there. And then hold on. To make matters worse, Eric, to make matters worse, he had those three. Not even, we even get to that. He had those three, and I believe it was I think it was Wayne Ellington, and then he had Carmelo Anthony at the 5. I was like, what is Fizdale doing here? This makes no sense.
Yeah,
this makes no sense. So, and I get it. Dwight couldn't play because he was, he just came out of protocol. He was getting his lungs back, but like, if DeAndre Jordan and LeBron were going to be your 5s, then you have to stagger that, man. You can't have a bad defender be your paint protector. Like, what are you doing, man? And then you got you're running 3 point guards, so one of your point guards is a small forward, and then your shooting guard is playing power forward. I was like, and Derek White, you know what I'm saying, Lonnie Walker, they just get into the basket at will, doing whatever they want. And I was just like, yo, I don't know if this is low, but this feels low, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt low with the Lakers when, like, the Jordan Hill and the
Robert Sacre
and the Chris Canyons of the world. Like, that was a low.
Xavier Henry, Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson.
Yeah, Wesley Johnson. He was terrible. Oh my God.
Ryan Kelly.
Like Ryan Kelly. That was a low. Like, that was a real low for me as a Laker fan. But when I saw San Antonio over the course of these 5 games, it's not even low. It's just depressing because you look at the team, you're like, yo, you know what they could be. You know what they could be, and they just can't do it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I've had it enough, but
I mean, on Christmas Day, I didn't ask for no video game systems, no sneakers, no laptops, no iPods, no Apple Watches, iPhones. I just asked for a W on Christmas Day.
I just want a Laker win.
I just want a Laker win, man. That's it, man. I went back to work yesterday, and everybody was like, "Hey, how was your Christmas?" I'm just like, gave him a straight face, like, bro, like the Lakers lost last night, and you expect me to be okay? Like, when we lose on Christmas Day, like, it's the worst thing ever. It's like somebody putting coal in your sock. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't fun. It ain't fun, man.
I think I felt the last 5 years.
I mean, the Knicks, you guys are just accustomed to losing, like that's just, I'm sorry, Eric, but that's just the way it is, man. Like we the Lakers, bro. We played in the crypto arena, a la the Staples Center. We can't get a W against the Long Island Nets, like it's crazy. And somebody asked me, why did you think that you guys were going to win that game? What do you mean, why? Because we have Braun, we have Russ versus James Harden. Do the math. We lost to Patty Mills. We lost to Nick Claxton. We lost to Dwayne Bembry, Bruce Brown, who's a floater machine. He's a 6'6" center. Like he can.
And we lost to Stephen Mills.
Yeah, that's who we lost to.
Or Patty Curry. How about that? We call him Patty Curry.
That's who we lost to, man. And it's just upsetting to see, and just this entire thing's been frustrating because I think the last time when we our last episode, we was on a 3-game win streak. I think, did we film the episode before Austin Reeves hit that 3? But anyway, that's besides the point. Like, the Lakers was rolling. We was on a 3-game winning streak, and then everybody went down to health and safety protocols. Not saying that's the excuse, But I was telling myself, and I told you guys this as well too. We need to get on a 7-game win streak for me to be like, all right, I'm invested. I'm gonna start taking these guys seriously. But it's like we take one step forward and 2 steps back. We're back in the same spot we was at, ever since, and we constantly bring up the schedules, who we play next and stuff like that. I know we was getting on you, Eric, because your next 10, 15 games wasn't looking like games you guys could win, but you guys able to pull them out. Our games were kind of the same thing, and where we still having difficulties. And hearing that our following schedule for the remainder of the season is the hardest schedule for the remainder of the season, it's like, all right, it kind of worries you some, because like I seen a report saying that we gotta still play the Warriors twice, I believe. Yeah. The Utah Jazz 3 times and the Phoenix Suns 2 more times, I believe. So it's just like, damn, like. We
didn't see the Jazz yet at all this year.
Yeah, we didn't see the Jazz. So it's like, like we got to gear up for that, mentally prepare ourselves for that, because we didn't even deal with those guys yet. We've been dealing with the Sacramento Queens and the Oklahoma Thunders of the world, and they smoking us, taking us to 3 overtimes and beating us twice this season. Like, it's ridiculous, It's ridiculous. And somebody else I was talking to, he said these games build character. Like, bro, we got blown out by the Timberwolves twice. We lost to the Thunder twice. We lost to Portland. We lost to Memphis without Ja. We who else did I just mention? We got smoked by the San Antonio Spurs. Bates Diop's, we almost lost to Houston at home. Bates Diop's had for the San Antonio Spurs, he had 30. Give that guy a max contract, because that's clearly what he played like against us. So it's just frustrating, man. When you can't even beat the lower seeds, and and you expect, like, damn, like, Are we really about to get in the playoffs and go on a playoff championship run? Like,
are y'all gonna at least make it out of the playing tournament?
Yeah, I don't want to sit through that, especially what we sat through last year watching the Warriors and the Lakers play. Man, my blood was on fire, man.
They almost took y'all out, man.
My blood was on fire, man. So I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for LeBron's 3 at the end of the game,
he said 3 rims.
Steph Curry would have taken y'all guys out.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I just think at the end of the day, the Lakers just have to you focus on the margins, because it's not just a Russ issue, and I think a lot of Laker fans and media analysts are mixing the two. The Lakers also have a bigger obstacle, and that's just roster construction. They have players that they have legit. You can say 3 players right now in the rotation that you cannot play. You can't play DeAndre Jordan, can't play Kent Bazemore, and you can't play Rajon Rondo. Like, it is what it is right now. Yeah. And they have to be able to fix that. And again, we have to be whole. Like, we have to see what this team looks like when we're healthy. I mean, listen, there's a lot of lineup iterations that they can do that's going to be very interesting and very tough for teams to deal with. If you have, let's just, for sake of argument, you have a AD at the 5, Ariza, LeBron, Stanley Johnson, and DC on the floor, or you have, if there's a trade that was made and you have, AD, Jeremy Grant, Ariza, LeBron, and Russ, like, there's so many possibilities that may happen from now till then. But yes, the overreaction is warranted, though. I feel like, because we've been kind of, as fans, been knocking on the same door throughout the season about the lineups that they can't play, about the effort that we're seeing, the stupid mistakes that they're making.
Just the hunger.
Yeah, the
hunger ain't there.
Right, just the lack of just going through the motions. Like, those are the things that we want them to clean up. Yeah. And it's been reverted to frustration of now, get these players out of here, because they don't. It doesn't seem like they want it. So again, if they just have to lock in and like, have some character, like, and have an identity. Like, what do you guys want to represent? Is it defense? Is it offense? Is it hustle plays? Like, figure out what you want to do and what you want to be, and then go from there. And that, again, that falls on, obviously, Frank Vogel, Rob Pelinka, and the coaching staff, LeBron, AD, and Russ. Like, that has to come from them. They have to set the tone. And then in return, the vets also have to keep the same accord so that the young guys see that. And now, no matter who you put in, they're giving 1,000% effort. Listen, half of these games that we lost were just effort. That's the reason why we lost. Not because of not even devoid of the turnovers and the stupid mistakes that we make throughout the game.
Effort.
It was effort that cost us to lose these games.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like I said, if there's a trade on the table for Russ that's like Ben Simmons, or a Damian Lillard-esque type, then yes, you make the trade. But if not, you got to keep Russ. You don't trade Russ for lesser pieces and then say, hey, LeBron, figure it out for us, make it work, and be the primary ball handler, which he didn't want to do in the begin this year. So you keep Russ. You hope that listen, he's watching film and he's understanding his mistakes, and that in turn clicks for him throughout the game. So he's just not like lost in the game, because I think that happens a lot to him too. He's just so lost in the game. I'm sure the things that they went over, he's forgotten, because I've seen Fizdale on the sideline when Russ makes mistakes. And he throws his hands up because I'm sure they talked about these things.
Same thing with Phil Handy.
Right. Same thing. Yeah, I see Phil Handy do the same thing. And I'm sure they talked about these things throughout practices and film sessions and film sessions and walkthroughs. And he's making the same mistakes that they're calling out during those practice times. So I just hope that they do that. And obviously, you work around the margins, man. You get wings that can defend, that can shoot, that can play. Just give effort in defense. Like that's why I like the iteration of either Miles Turner or Jeremy Grant, because Miles Turner helps the AD problem of him not wanting to play the 5.
Like, Pau Gasol.
Right. And listen, I get it. Like he efficiently and plus minus and all that stuff, he works better playing the 5 for the team. But that doesn't help if he's not playing well, because we need him to play well to win. So if he dominates playing the 4, then focus on getting a 5 that can be functional in the offense that we want to run, so he can play the 4 and be his dominant self like he was in the bubble. That's why I like the Miles Turner thing. And then obviously, for very many reasons, why Jeremy Grant I think will also be a perfect fit, because he can play big, he can score on his own. He doesn't need LeBron or Russ to set him up, and he warrants gravity for teams. You can't leave him open to go double LeBron or Russ or AD. Like, you have to be able to play one-on-one, and that's going to play to the strength of all those guys. So I just think they just need to work around the margins. I love THT, but for what he needs, we can't offer, because we're in the midst of trying to win a championship and extending LeBron's window. THT doesn't do that, because THT needs to be an all-star now, and he's not. So, and all this cat people are saying that THT trade value has gone in the tank, whatever. It's not. Trust me, it's not. There are variations of teams.
He's just in a weird situation right now, because you can't have him and Russ starting. You can't have two slashers starting.
Right, and that's another thing that the coach needs to do.
It's not working.
Like my opinion, the starting 5 should be going forward the White until AD gets back. It should be the White at the 5, LeBron at the 4. Your 3 guards should be Wayne Ellington. Your 2 should be Monk, and your 1 should be Russ. That should be your 5 for right now. And then obviously when Reeves comes back, he'll get rotation minutes. Obviously when Reeves comes back, you insert him in the starting lineup. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you can't have THT needs to run with the bench unit, because you'll have a primary ball handler and a slasher, the shot creator, and let him get that experience with the bench unit. But ultimately, I think he'll get traded this year, because I just think for development reasons, he's not offering what the Lakers that the Lakers need. And there are several teams who want him, because they know, real NBA scouts and teams know, if you put him on a squad where he doesn't have to worry about all the pressure and just let him develop, he's going to be really, really good.
He's already polished, you got to give him the space to shine.
And now you're getting a player who's able to suck up all that knowledge from LeBron, from Melo, from AD, from great coaching staff, Jason Kidd. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he has championship pedigree. Like, he's played in the finals, man. Like, so you're gonna get a young player with all this experience that is yet to flourish. So, listen, I just see trades all over. I even see trades about the Lakers sending Russ to the Knicks for Kimba. It's a lot. There's another
What?
trade that's been floating around today about attaching Russ and THT, send him to Sacramento for De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. The money works. The money works. But ultimately, and listen, if that trade's on the table, I take that too if I'm the Lakers. But ultimately, man, just work around the margins. I think the team will be fine. It's just a rough patch right now. And man, if we're able to get it clicking, it's gonna be that much sweeter if we win the chip.
Yeah.
It's oh my gosh, I'm not gonna know how to act if we win a chip this year.
The flight will be booked to LA.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to
the parade at the crypto.
Yeah, facts.
Parade at the crypto.
But yeah, that's all I got. I know I was very long-winded on that, but I just want to give perspective for the Lakers fans. I think like we're so enamored with the expectations, right? And rightfully so, we should be.
Yeah,
but also, let's put things in perspective. Like the team hasn't been whole yet. We know Russ. We know what we're going to get with him. We just hope he stays a professional, understands things that he's doing wrong, that he can correct. And because we can't keep wasting these LeBron moments, man. Like the fact that he's putting up all these numbers, we've been 0-5 in that stretch. That's scary to me. The fact that LeBron's playing this high of a level and we're losing, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, just the body language on on him. You see it sometimes too, just not getting back on defense. Remember that infamous play that everybody caught happened against the Spurs. We went down on a fast break, and it was just him. It was just him, like past half court, like on the screen. You just see him. You see Isaiah Thomas and DeAndre Jordan kind of creep in the frame a little bit, and LeBron just jacks a three and just goes the other way, and it's just like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going on? Like it just ain't there. The hunger, the seriousness, just the passion, and Ernest spoke about it earlier, just like holding players accountable. It's just like, people hold Russ accountable, people hold AD accountable, but what is people going to hold LeBron accountable or not? Right. And the thing is that I have friends, we all have friends that are LeBron fans, and they was like, oh, wasn't LeBron full? LeBron had 30. I'm good. Like, what? Like, if you're a fan of LeBron, you will want him to win, and it's like, so pretty much what you're telling me, if you're okay with that, is that you're supporting the not getting back on defense. You're supporting just the lackadaisical play. You're supporting the not rotating to his man for that guy that's in the corner shooting that three. Like you're here for it, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's kind of whack, because I feel like as good as you are, like you still need somebody to put you in your place as well too. Because we're looking at you like the non-LeBron fans is like we're not used to this, like this Hollywood kind of attention stardom that you bring to the team is like you're in a jersey as well. Play for the name that's on the front and not on the back. So that's the point I'm trying to make.
And it's crazy. LeBron's never been on a 5-game losing streak. So
well, it's always first for something. So
yeah.
Yep.
That's all I got. That's all we got for today, guys. Hopefully the Lakers are turning around. Hopefully the Knicks start to gain some traction.
New year, new Lakers.
Yeah, new year, new Lakers. New winning, new team.
Yeah.
But until next episode, we're gonna holler at you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking us out.
Happy New Year. Be safe.
New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year.
Yeah.
Have a safe holiday, please.
Yeah.
It's getting nasty out. So
yeah. Well, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Yes. Yes. Wash your hands.
Yeah. And enjoy the rest of the NBA season as we go along. And until next time. Peace.